Good morning. It's a beautiful Sunday morning here in Iowa. I got some boxes to open up, so let's see what they are. Stay tuned. Here we are. A couple long boxes. Hopefully they're for that. I'm going to open these up with my trusty little razor blade. I'll be right back. So we got both of our cross members. Those guys. One goes right here, all the way to the other side. The other one replaces that guy right there, because, well, it's not supposed to have speed holes in it. But for now, what we're going to work on is we're going to pull this drive shaft, clean up that nice extension cord just chilling out, and then I'm going to pick all those old cross members up. That goes back there, so I'm actually going to try to get most of the transmission out today. So let's put some gloves on and kind of get to it. Also, don't forget, these nice warm fall days, you have to stay hydrated. So today, we're drinking this. And remember, it's healthy because it's got lime juice in it. Or so they say. So yeah, we're gonna grab our healthy drink, and I believe these are yep, they're an 11. So we're gonna go grab a wrench because that doesn't fit on there. Okay, so we got it out of there. Okay. That is your transfer case. So we're gonna get down there, plug it with this little guy, and then we're gonna start removing it. When I get down there, I'll get some more details on how to do that, and I'll show you guys. But stay tuned. Okay, so got that plugged. And now we have this shield underneath the transfer case. So I'm going to use this T50 and pull those four bolts up. I'll be right back. Okay, so those 4 Torx bolts are actually through bolts with a nut on the top, because that's frickin' retarded. That's so goddamn dumb. So, new tactic. I'm gonna go get a jack. Put a jack underneath the pan of the transmission, and I'm going to remove the 2 bolts there and 2 bolts over here, and hopefully I can get to the 2 bolts, or the single bolt. I don't know what's holding it to the transmission yet. I gotta look. But I'm going to remove that cross member, because those top nuts are easy to get to. So that's what I'm going to do right now. They look big. They're probably like an 18. I'll find out. It's another day, and we're still working on this. I didn't get that far. I did get the transfer case fluid drained. That giant thing. I'll actually show you where that is. Hang on quick. I left absolutely everything outside yesterday, and everything's all wet this morning because of dew. So on the bottom of your transfer case is your plug. It's a giant one. So go ahead and drain that out. Quite a bit of fluid's going to come out, probably 2 quarts or so. I got all these 4 crossmember bolts out, and then I have 2 for the transmission mount that we're going to undo, and then I'm going to jack that transmission up a little bit and try to get that bad boy out. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's an adapter plate in there. It goes to the transfer case of the transmission, and I am not removing this whole unit as one, because it's just me, and well, that just sounds like a pain in the ass. So I think I'm actually going to remove the transfer case from the transmission and try that. We'll see what happens. Remember your transfer case motor, unplug that, So I'm going to go grab a 14 mil, I believe, is what the size those two nuts are right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to show you what we're going to end up doing, and then I'm going to do it. I'm not going to hold the camera down here while I'm trying to do stuff. So I got those two bolts out, or nuts off. They were actually 15 mil, and so I'm actually going to pull this down as one unit, I think. Looking at trying to get to some of these bolts, it's just going to be kind of difficult. You know, because there's one right here, there's one up here, and then there's one over here, and then up top, which I might try, but I don't know. And then we're gonna remove the front drive shaft, remove it on both sides, and then you're gonna take these two, this bolt and this bolt off. I'm going to try to leave them connected to the motor itself. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get, I'm not sure if I'm going to be that lucky. Then I'm going to remove your starter bolts, this one and that one, and then the lower half of the bell housing. So this, that one, and then there's two on that side. There's a third one up on this side too. And then these two lines are your cooler lines. These are your cooler lines, so we're going to undo those two also. We're going to undo them at the transmission. Once we get all that done, we'll put the jack underneath the pan. Obviously, we're going to support it with a piece of wood or something. And then we're going to remove this. And at that point, I'll try to see what I can do about getting the transfer case off to make my life easier, but we'll see. Also, we will remove the shift linkage and any and all electronics. So there's electronics there. And then there should be a couple others too on there. But I'm not going to try to get the transmission up, or the camera up in there to see the transmission bolts, so I'll show you on this one. So you have a locating pin with two bolts, another bolt, another bolt, another two bolts, and a locating pin. So that's what you're going to deal with this. These are the two top bolts I was talking about. I might try to get those out. On the other transmission, it might make it just a little easier for me, but I'll see. And this is the style of connector that's on these. I'm actually just going to remove them instead of trying to get up in there and grab that little retaining clip. I don't know if you can see that, but you see that little retaining clip? I don't know if I really want to dick with that, so I might just try to take those out. I am going to put an auxiliary cooler in there, so I'm actually going to end up cutting those anyway in the truck and running an auxiliary cooler with a fan. Try to get as much heat out of this 4L60 as I can to try to make it last. We are going to rebuild that one, so we'll see. Well, the one that we pull out of the truck anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and start getting this thing out, and I will update you as I go along. But stay tuned. Okay, so little update video. Okay, so I got that guy down. I'm not removing the exhaust, so I'm not pulling that all the way out. Frankly, I don't know if those would come loose right now. And if I'm pulling that out, well, I'm buying headers and stainless exhaust. And frankly, I don't know if the wife will let me do that. So I got the starter down. I got all this stuff down. Those moved out of the way pretty well. So I got the drive shaft out. So that clears up quite a bit of space for me. So there's some more electrical connectors up there. Next thing I'm gonna do is pull that bolt off and get the shift linkage out of here. Try to maneuver that messed up of a retainer out. And then I am going to come over here and spin the motor and use that little opening right there to undo the flywheel bolts. The flywheel just bolts right on the torque converter, and there's only 3 of them, as you can see right there. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to get to getting this done, and I'll be back. Okay, got the transfer case out. Got that out. And there's the transmission. So I'm going to pull that jack out for now anyway. I'm going to let this continue to drip a little bit. I actually might try to drain some more fluid out of it. It looks like there might still be some in the pan. You know, it sat here quite a while and dripped, but who knows. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that pan again so I don't make a huge mess. And then I'm going to get up there. I don't know if you can see it, but right there I'm going to get the 2 cooler lines and undo those. And then get all the bolts to the motor. So the flex plate bolts to the torque converter, those are 15s, and the crankshaft bolt on this was a 16. So I'm thinking that's what most of them probably are, but double check. But I'm going to go ahead and continue working, and I'll give you an update after a bit. Okay, so as you can tell, I am dirty as hell. But there's the old transmission. Transmission and transfer case back in. So now we're just going to deal with some of this other reassembly and see if we can't get this back on the road. I got to put the dipstick back in up here yet. It's right here actually, and then I can shut the hood really and continue down below. But all I got to do is put the front drive shaft in, the rear drive shaft in, and fill it with fluid. And this cross member, but I kind of cleaned it up a little bit so it didn't look so bad. And I'm going to let it dry, and I'm going to undercoat it just like I'm undercoating everything else. But all this is going to get redone. I just wanted it to look better sitting out my front, looking like crap. So that's where we're at. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take a break. I've been at this all day. I got the transmission out, got it back in, got it wired up. So I'm going to let that dry and come back out after a bit. So stay tuned now. I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done with it. Welcome back. Another day, another part. So trying to get this truck finished up. I'm coating that the transmission cross member. So we're coating that, trying to get a nice little coat on it before we undercoat it. So we got a new transmission cooler and a external fan and a new transmission filter. we're going to go ahead and work on that. That's the old one. So as you can see, we actually are using the transmission pan right now to hold this up. So we're going to use this jack stand and we're going to put it right where the transmission mount would be, so we can get that jack out of there and lower that pan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and get that pan off. It's the 16 bolt shallow pan, I believe. It's not the 2-step one, so that filter I got should work. And we're going to go ahead and pull that out, replace it, put a new gasket on it, and then we're going to do the at-home transmission flush, and I'll kind of explain that to you too. I'll be right back. Okay, so when you're doing this, you're going to have this little O-ring that you're going to pull out when you pull your old filter out. Always put your new one in there. I had a spare one. I did a video of me taking it out, so I wanted to show you the spare one that I have. It's actually for another 4L60E, but it's for the old one out of the Camaro. So that's what they look like. They're a pain in the butt to pull out. Just kind of bend it around this little metal and then pop it out. And then shove your new filter in there. And then get your gasket. I've cleaned the surface up down there on the transmission. Now we're going to clean that. So I'm going to go ahead and get some brake clean or carb cleaner and clean that out quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, so get that all cleaned out, get your new hard rubber gasket, and we're going to slowly put it in. Okay, so you got all that done. Now you're going to get up here, and it's raining. So I'm going to be done. But the way you do the DIY flush is you take off that top transmission cooler line, and then you put an adapter on the radiator, and you fill the transmission full with, I don't know, a gallon, and put a line from the adapter that you put on here to a bucket, and then you will start the truck and it'll push the fluid out. As soon as it's, done, you shut the truck off right away, and you just repeat that a couple times, and about the third time you'll be completely flushed and ready to put new stuff in. So that's the ghetto cheap way to do that, and that's what we're gonna do. I just got some cheap stuff here, just some Dexmerk ATF. I'm gonna throw that in there, and then I'll show you the little setup I have. Okay, so let's do this transfer case. Yeah, transfer case. Let's do that. So this is what we're using. There is a GM version of it, but this is what I grabbed. It's about the same cost, but this was more readily available than the GM version. So this is what we're going to throw in that transfer case. Grab a little bendy thing, or you can use a fluid transfer pump also. Roughly about 2 quarts. And if you're looking at the transfer case, it's that big one right there. I don't know what size it is. I just have a big 12-inch crescent wrench. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull that out. The drain is down there. So throw a couple quarts in there. Typically, when it starts flowing out, that's when you'll stop. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back. Okay, so next thing is I got a 7mm, and I'm going to take this front grill off because I want to get into the front of the condenser, because we're going to install this cooler before I start flushing the transmission. Not entirely positive how to take this off, but I see some 7mm along the top, so I'm going to start there, and I'll update you guys as I go along. Hey, so I'm dumb. I'm sure, based on that right there, those two nice brand new fuel lines hanging down, I'm sure you can understand why I'm an idiot. If my potato would, you know, whatever, if my potato would focus. The fuel tank is on the ground. I can't start the truck to flush the frickin' transmission lines until I get that back in, which means I gotta take that brace off and I gotta get the one that goes in there in. So yeah, we're gonna get drive shafts in. My U-joints are still good, but they're not greasable, so I'm actually going to grease them with this and then get those put back in. Yeah, nothing special, so I'm not going to video this part. You know, the rear one goes, you know, right there, and the front one goes, well, up front. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and there's the front one. I'll be right back. So obviously, we're not at home with the truck. I'm actually at work, but I'm going to finish up this video quick. I ended up getting the drive shafts put in. Got the U-joints greased up and everything, and got them installed. Nothing special, but I'll show you that tonight. We're going to be doing some more work on it, but I wanted to finish this video before. So like, subscribe, comment, ridicule, burn me, I don't care. Just share us, have some fun, build something. But for now, I'll see you guys later. Deuces.